From Pacifica, this is Democracy Now! We're on the road in Dallas, Texas.
I believe that waterboarding was torture. And I think that whatever legal rationales were used, it was a mistake.
President Obama marks his 100th day in office with a primetime news conference. We'll play highlights. Then the Justice Department launches an antitrust investigation into Google's plan to digitize millions of printed books. We'll speak with Brewster Kahle, founder of the Internet Archive.
In effect, in this digital world, Google will be able to control the library.
Then we catch up with Nobel Peace Laureate Shirin Ebadi in Austin. She's representing the jailed Iranian-American reporter Roxana Saberi. We'll also speak with her about Western countries pulling out of the Conference on Racism, the war in Afghanistan, and more. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from Fort Worth, Texas. The World Health Organization is warning the swine flu outbreak is at the imminent stages of becoming a global pandemic. On Tuesday, WHO raised its alert level to 5, the agency's second highest position. There are now at least 91 known cases in the United States, including 6 new states: Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Arizona, Indiana, and Nevada. In Texas, where a toddler became the first U.S. resident to die from swine flu, Governor Rick Perry has declared a statewide disaster and closed several school districts, including here in Fort Worth. Testifying on Capitol Hill, Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano said the Obama administration's handling the outbreak as if it's a full pandemic.
There is a lot we don't yet know about this outbreak, but we have been preparing as if we are facing a true pandemic, even though we don't know the ultimate scope of what will occur. We also have been preparing with the understanding that this will be a marathon and not a sprint. We're going to be at this for a while.
In Iraq, at least 58 people died Wednesday in a series of attacks around Baghdad. The deadliest came in Sadr City, where 51 people were killed and more than 60 wounded in successive car bombings. A witness criticized the Iraqi government, saying it's failed to protect Iraqis.
Is that what we deserve on top of bombs? That they shoot at people? Is this Maliki's government? Instead of helping us evacuate the wounded, they started shooting at us. This is Maliki's government. Can you hear the shooting? They are shooting at people. People are lying underneath cars.
April has been Iraq's deadliest month in more than a year. The McClatchy News Service reports more than 200 people have been killed in Baghdad alone, doubling last month's toll. The trial of a former soldier accused in the 2006 rape and murder of an Iraqi teenager and the killing of her family has begun. Stephen Green is accused of being the ringleader in raping and killing 14-year-old Abir Hassan Hamza al-Janabi and killing her parents and 5-year-old sister. Green is being tried in a Kentucky civilian court. 3 soldiers have already been sentenced to life in prison in the case. A Spanish judge has launched an investigation of systematic torture at the Guantanamo prison. On Wednesday, Judge Baltasar Garzón said he would probe, quote, the perpetrators, the instigators, the necessary collaborators and accomplices to the torture of Guantanamo prisoners. Spanish law allows it to claim jurisdiction because 5 citizens or residents say they were tortured while imprisoned at Guantanamo. Garzón's probe is unrelated to a separate investigation of 6 Bush administration lawyers who authorized the torture carried out at Guantanamo. Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Patrick Leahy, meanwhile, has invited federal Judge Bybee to testify about his role in authoring 2 Bush administration memos that authorized the torture of foreign prisoners. As head of the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel, Bybee approved torture methods, including waterboarding and slamming prisoners against a wall. The invite comes one day after Bybee spoke out on the memos for the first time since their release earlier this month. In a statement to the New York Times, Bybee said he believes the memos represent, quote, a good faith analysis of the law. Bybee is one of the 3 Bush administration lawyers currently under Justice Department investigation. Meanwhile, at Guantanamo, lawyers for the Canadian President Omar Khadr are calling on the Obama administration to drop charges ahead of a looming deadline. Khadr's military judge says he'll resume court proceedings June 1st unless the Obama White House extends its freeze on Guantanamo cases or drops the charges. Khadr's military attorney, Eric Montalvo, called for his immediate release.
He's been incarcerated since he's approximately 16 years old. 16 years old, he was taken off the streets of Afghanistan and thrown into cages and held there up until now, and he's still not adjudicated. So we want to get him out of a cage and put him back into society with his family and rehabilitate him. That's our effort at this point.
Last week, a Canadian court ordered Canada's government to seek Khadr's immediate return. Meanwhile, the Washington Post reporting prosecutors and defense attorneys are negotiating a guilty plea for Ali al-Marri, who has been the only so-called enemy combatant jailed in the United States. Marri has been held in isolation without trial at a naval brig in South Carolina for more than 5 years. The Obama administration charged him earlier this year to avoid a Supreme Court hearing challenging his indefinite jailing. Under the proposed deal, al-Marri would plead guilty to a single conspiracy charge carrying a 15-year sentence. President Obama's marked his 100th day in office Wednesday with a primetime news conference from the White House. Obama said the Bush administration's use of waterboarding is torture and that he's gravely concerned about internal unrest in Pakistan. Obama also said he's been confronted with a series of atypical challenges.
I didn't anticipate the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And so, the typical president, I think, has 2 or 3 big problems. We've got 7 or 8 big problems.
More from Obama's news conference after headlines. Former Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius has been sworn in as the new Secretary of Health and Human Services following her Senate confirmation. Sebelius will head the Obama administration's response to the swine flu outbreak and guide its plans to overhaul the nation's health care system. Republicans had managed to delay Sebelius's confirmation vote over opposition to her support for abortion rights. New figures show the U.S. economy has suffered its largest contraction in 50 years. On Wednesday, the Commerce Department reported gross domestic product saw a first-quarter drop of 6.1%. It was the first time the GDP has fallen 3 straight quarters since 1975. The Obama administration's backing calls to lower the mandatory minimum prison sentence for dealing crack cocaine to match the punishment for dealing powder cocaine. Under current law, possession of 5 grams of crack cocaine triggers the same mandatory minimum sentence as possession of 500 grams of powder cocaine. The disparity has disproportionately punished African-American drug offenders who account for more than 80% of crack cocaine cases. Wednesday's announcement marked the first time the White House has back calls to lower minimum drug sentences. And in media news, the Baltimore Sun's announced nearly 60 newsroom layoffs. The Sun's owner, Tribune Corporation, is currently operating under bankruptcy protection. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from Dallas-Fort Worth here in Texas.